Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of Warships. Today it's one of my replays and I'm in the Atlanta, a tier 7 premium US cruiser. And, well, there is a carrier coming for me, obviously being in Atlanta. He's going to get his job off, but I've managed to dodge there. Now I also have to dodge all the incoming shells because of the spotting. So, and of course, finally the planes are gone. So this worked out a lot better than expected, because the enemy team could have smacked me quite heavily there, but oh, okay, I got lucky. So that could have ended terribly wrong. Anyway, I'm on the map Northern Lights. It's a 4-point domination game, so it's a tier 9 battle, so definitely not what you want to find in New Atlanta. As we've already established, there's a carrier, but I've survived even though carrier spotting. So that's good. Now I'm here between sort of C and D because this is the best position generally for a radar where you can... I mean, I don't have that much range on my radar, but I can move between those two caps and potentially radar them. Now D is currently the one that needs radar, but I won't be there in time. And most of the enemy team seems to be around here at C. They also forced Viper outside of the camp. So I'm gonna just sit here and have some smoke from my division mate. And then we're gonna do some pew-pewing. Now there is a Buffalo dangerously close. Also if we get any closer, the Buffalo could raid us. Might still be able to get in radar range, although it doesn't look like it's coming our way currently. Now we know that there is, well, there's a really giant blob there that contains at least one destroyer. If they're going to try to go into sea or not remains to be seen. I mean, I've been spotted obviously early on by the carrier, so the enemy destroyers might be wary of my position. Now, we have quite a few ships going towards the D cap, the cap we don't have. So we'll see how that works out. Also, I'm kinda lacking, like, targets. While there is this massive enemy blob there, we don't have any vision offset. Now Atlanta has the shells to actually engage something even on the other side of this island, because my shells enter orbit anyway. But I'd need to see them. Now the good news is Viper is currently camping. He has to use his smoke because of the carrier. Maybe I can shoot down another plane, and oh, I can get another salvo off against the Atlantico. I mean, I've already done an entire 654 points of damage, so... Meanwhile... Oh, there is a set of 6. I was just thinking, you know, that Ruprecht could actually camp. Now, with a destroyer around, that might be slightly more problematic. In the 9-10 line, there are 2 enemy bombers. I mean, if they're wasting their tier 9 ships in the 9-10 line, that's good for us. We've lost a ship there, but maybe the Kitakase can actually get some torps off. Now, of course, this Kitakase would also be very useful in taking the D-cap. But, well, the game's still early. So, it looks like the Akatsuki is around here. I could radar it, but if it just keeps going towards, like, D, then the radar would be useless. Also, we don't really have any ships here towards my left that would have angles on the Akatsuki. And speaking of destroyers, it looks like there is a Shiratsuyu coming through here. There is the Atlantico coming. Oh, okay, so the destroyer has decided to enter the camp. Now I'm gonna pop a Hydro here, and I'll... Oh, I'm detected by the planes. So I might need to radar here soon. Yep, there is the radar. And now we're just gonna make sure this destroyer gets destroyed. Meanwhile, my division mate has smoked us up, so we aren't going to get farmed by, like, the Atlantico that's pushing, hopefully. I'm not sure what the Akatsuki expected to happen here. Then again, I'm not sure when was the last time I was spotted, but I've been here on this position for a long time. Let's put it like this. One might have expected there to be the raid, but be that as it may, we now have an Atlantico to farm, and I can finally do some damage. Now I have to maneuver in a way that I don't leave that smoke screen. and hopefully can use all of my guns. Now we are losing the B cap, which is a bit of a shame because that would put the enemy team ahead on caps. Our team is still not making a push for D, and they are meanwhile also not really defending B, so that's yeah. Well, I guess we have the Ruprecht now counter-pushing that Atlantico. The smoke ran out and I'm detected, which is a potential disaster, but nobody has reacted in time, and now I've made it behind this island so I can calm the Atlantico some more. Meanwhile, Gneisenau has entered D. It's entirely possible that we will actually get this cap at some point. Although that Gneisenau will just be constantly interrupted. And I have no idea where the ZF6 went. It was last seen coming towards C, but it could have just turned around to talk the Gneisenau. Otherwise the Gneisenau is also just gonna have to deal with the Yukon. Speaking of dealing with things, the Atlantico has been dealt with. I've actually got 2 kills so far, not too much damage, but let's just say my Atlanta has been efficient. Now the question is, what do I do from here, right? Okay, so the Pommern has been dealt with, that's good news, because if the Pommern comes around here, I'd be in, well, a bad state. So I could try to push into D, but I leave this to Viper, our lovely destroyer. And instead, my division mate is gonna smoke up here and we're just gonna shoot the incoming ships like the Heinrich. It's not like we're going to lag targets here, I feel like, if we have the Heinrich and the Surrey pushing. Although, Heinrich is losing quite a bit of hit points there. Meanwhile, we have an Alsace in the eye line for whatever reason that gets charged by Shiratsuyu. Our Ruprecht is counter-pushing the enemy push. So we've lost the Ruprecht, but at least it tried to stop the enemies, and the enemy Heinrich did take quite a beating, and it actually got taken out. That's nice. So, you know, ship-wise, this is developing rather okay. Which is interesting. I mean, the enemy push here didn't work out as well as they thought, I suppose. It didn't help that the enemy lost both of their tier 9s there in the 9-10 line, I think. And that looks like that an enemy is unhappy. I'm not entirely sure with whom, but anyway. Oh, I'm spotted by a Surrey, but the Surrey is currently not looking my way, so I can angle before it has... Well, it's not necessarily interested in shooting me anyway. So there's a tiny bit of smoke left, but that won't last long. Now, seeing C being capped, I've used my Hydro here to dodge the torps. And the Surrey has been dealt with. That's actually pretty good news, because it means I could angle against the ZF6 that's trying to hit me with armor piercing, and it's also using its reload booster, so that's a lot of potential damage coming my way. Meanwhile, the carrier is also a nuisance. Now, if I had to worry about that the cruiser on my side while engaging the ZF6, that would have been a much bigger issue. Now the ZF6 has left, but there is a Yukon pushing in. I can get a few more hits into that and help sink it. If we can sink the Yukon before it comes around here and spots me or engages me, that would be rather lovely. So overall, this game is turning out to be a pretty nice victory, I believe. We still don't have the decap, mind you. But we are getting a big advantage on ships. Now it's time to go after the ZF6, and oh, it's still around. Now, I don't have a radar ready, but I do have a Hydro still going. Now the problem is, I have to dodge those torps, I have to dodge the carrier torps, and I don't want to show broadside to the armor piercing. Now the dodging worked, but I'm still eating a lot of armor piercing damage. Now I can finally angle again. Also, I'm close enough to see the ZF6 now, and an Atlanta just hurts. Well, if you're a destroyer and you're broadside to an Atlanta at this range, it's just gonna hurt. Although ZF6 did a very good job in almost sinking me. Now at this point, it's only 3 enemies remaining. And, well, my division mate is even lower than I am. I guess we get a lot of adrenaline rush at this point. So let's speed up the remainder. The Buffalo is getting farmed. Now it's just the carrier and the destroyer. The carrier is trying to drop my friend here, but he failed. Now I could stick around for some anti-air, but we all know that it's not going to do anything anyway. I'm just gonna try and see if I can catch the Shiratsuyu. So I've sped up the game and I have unlocked the camera. Now let's see if I have exactly 1 radar left, and there it is. So I'm detected. So we're gonna pop the radar, we're gonna pop the hydro. I found the Shiratsuyu. And maybe I can even get my 4th kill here. Well, you know, smoking up isn't gonna do you a lot of good there, Shiratsuyu.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Well, that just leaves the carrier that is way too far away for me to do anything about it, but my team's on it, so this is going to be over pretty soon. There are some torps still coming. And the enemy carrier was destroyed, therefore ending the game, and I've gotten a boatload of experience. I mean, I guess most of my damage is against destroyers, and these destroyers don't have a lot of hit points, so that's where my experience comes from. And I'm at tier 7 ship shooting higher tiers, that also helps. So yeah, this was a pretty successful game in Atlanta, not something that happens that often in a tier 9 game. Your range is just way too problematic, but this is a decent map, I suppose. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.